or interested in becoming involved in the DATV Experimenters Nights. Do you realise that you do not have to be a radio amateur or need any ATV equipment to participate anywhere in the world? Also participate in the night by coming up to the Queen's Domain club rooms. Yes, right on top of the Queen's Domain in the heritage-listed Coast Wireless Station. You never know, we might get you in front of the camera or behind doing one of the many roles during the night. We get underway with our program on a Wednesday night from 7:30 p.m. local time. We'll see you soon. This is VK7 OTC.
Okay, this is VK7HSE, the club station of the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania, with our DATV Experimenters Night, and I've got the merch on. In fact, I've got the merch on as well. You get duplicate. Anyway, that's a bit sad, isn't it? And I've got Ben VK7BEN in the studio.
G'day, Justin.
How you going?
Not too bad.
Excellent.
It was an exciting couple of weeks, but that's a slightly another story.
That's definitely another story. And I hope you're much better.
Yes.
Okay.
So, short story for everyone, kidney stones. I think that explains it all.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
But last time I was here with you, I said I'd have something special coming along. Because last time I was here, we were talking about portable operations.
Yeah.
And I brought in the that little GPD7 laptop.
Very sexy.
Yep. But I was talking about how am I going to power all this stuff. So, so while I've been at home recuperating, the toy arrived.
Woohoo!
So, anyway, I thought I'd start off. Hopefully most people have seen one of these, which is your typical camera.
Yeah.
Camera one.
Just next to, and we've got Hayden VK7HH of Ham Radio DX fame in the studio.
Yep. So yeah,
I thought I was in the camera.
This here is your typical run-of-the-mill power bank. This one I bought off Amazon. It's got a reasonable capacity in it, maybe 600 amps or milliamp hours or something like that. And it's got your USB ports which you plug in.
Cool.
Which is good. It was about $30. It does have its limitations because it can only output at about 18 watts, which was a bit of a bummer because I was hoping to charge my laptop off it. So that was a bit of a bummer. But at the same time, something else came along that caught my eye on Kickstarter. I'm a bit of a gadget guy. I think everyone knows that. I like my gadgets and I like my Kickstarters. So
I like the emails I get from Ben.
yeah. So invariably I try to act as an enabler, and if I'm getting something on, to make sure everyone else is getting it too.
Spread the love.
Yeah. So in this case,
That's called an influencer, Ben.
yes, we have what is called a Storm 2 liquid. Now I'm guessing we probably need the
yes.
close-up projector.
Yes,
So
yes.
Is it Storm Squared or Storm 2?
Storm Squared probably.
Storm Squared sounds good.
Yep. So that, is also a power bank, but it has some very interesting features, which I'll get Justin to go to the close-up projector
Now,
to show off. So,
this is pretty impressive.
other than it being completely see-through, If you
There's the batteries.
Yep. So-
18650s.
so 18650s are in it, which the
It says airline safe on it.
yeah, which is, because it's just under 100 watt hours of battery in it.
Can I turn it on?
Yeah, we can. So, one of the things, it has a screen and an energy storage management operating system. So,
And a very sexy little OLED screen.
yeah. So I don't know if we can zoom right in on the screen there.
Yes, we can.
So when I bought this, the manufacturer insisted that the batteries were not replaceable. I'm pretty certain
they are.
they can, because the back plate's just got some very small Allen key
Yeah.
fittings in it. So yeah, we have a display. We have your watts in, your watts out, because one of the features is it will do a pass-through charge. So you could actually have this hooked up to a charger while it is powering something. So it could almost act as an uninterrupted power supply for small devices.
Cool.
Obviously, you've got your voltages there. And if I get you to point it up on its side,
On this
other side,
other side.
this is where the features get particularly interesting for me, is that you can see there is one more fitting in there than what you usually get. You've got your two USB-C outlets.
So these,
So
Those two.
Yep,
Those
you've got
two.
your USB-A outlet.
that one.
Yep. But I'm sure everyone is familiar with a DC 3.5mm jack output.
Woohoo!
So the big selling point for me was that this thing will actually output anywhere between 3.3 and 25.6 volts DC out at 3 amps. And if you push and hold on the yellow button there, you can see here, I've got it set right now.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm going in.
There you go. You can see I have it set up for DC out of 10.8 volt. It's obviously not drawing any amps at the moment because it's not plugged in. And that is the sweet spot for a Yaesu FT817.
Woohoo!
So,
I like it. I love it.
so one of the things that was important for me about this was that it's all very good to have a power bank, but if it's, or even like when I'm soldering or WWFing, if the battery, like, I think last time I was here I had just a typical SLA battery. If it's still sitting under the house 6 months a year doing nothing, that's degrading the battery.
Correct.
Whereas with this, if I'm not using it when I'm soldering, I'm using it at home to charge the iPad, charge the iPhone, charge the laptop as need be. You looking for the stats?
No. I should show this because there are a whole. Given it is a energy management system, operating system, there are a whole lot of. So this is each of the individual battery information. Temperature units.
Yep. So the timer, which is the next one, it's just basically saying how there's a timer on the front screen that you use to see how long something's plugged in for.
Yep. Okay.
And you can just reset that. Display settings,
Power
after the unit, and then exit the menu.
And back to where we got.
Yep. So if you were to long press into that, you then can change these by going up, long pressing up and down
Cool.
in either voltages or 0.1 of a volt.
Okay. And the thing I'm impressed about is this is actually a buck boost type power supply.
So there you go, it's maxing out at 25.2.
Okay.
So if you do a short press, it will then go minus 1 volt, and you can push and hold. And
okay.
Yeah.
I see what's happening here.
yeah, so you keep tapping, there you go. Now if you...
Minus.
Yep, so just pick
Sorry,
one of the
I'll
minus
go
ones.
back to where the minus was.
Yep, and push and
long,
hold.
Long press.
There you go, down it goes again.
That's how they use the interface.
Yeah, it took a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
Have you used this with the 817?
I have literally
Plugged in just there.
had it plugged in up here this evening. I haven't actually used it in anger yet.
I just wonder whether under current consumption, if there's any noise because it's a buck switch.
From what I can see, certainly on receive, I'm not hearing anything different. Don't know about transmit, but
Well, it doesn't matter when you're transmitting. But
yeah.
Cool.
So
I'm impressed.
and along
How much was it?
It's not the cheapest of devices. This was, as I said, about $35 on Amazon, cheapy. That's about $160. That said, what you are paying there for is probably the best-in-class batteries, because if you looked on the Kickstarter, they talked a lot about the particular batteries they bought. They're just not any Chinese knockoff brand battery.
So the decent 18650
Yep.
batteries, yeah.
And also, the big factor is that this has up to 100 watts PD in and out. So you can charge it at up to 100 watts USB.
Oh.
So that works out with...
Fast charging.
Yeah, with the fast charging compatible devices, 19 volts at 4.5 amps. And it can put that out as well. And when you start looking around, as I said, this was... Again, $33, $35, but it can only output 18 watts.
Mm.
Once you start going over devices that output over 40 watts in PD, they get expensive very quickly.
Mm.
So obviously some of the things that came with it on the Kickstarter was some nice shiny cables. I won't get into the usual ones, but one of the nicer things were the alligator clips to the 3.5 jack, which will then, says I going that way, then unplug into little banana pins.
Very nice.
So, if you don't necessarily have what you need, then this will probably do the job.
Very nice.
But there's the Kickstarter for that. Those are finished. There's still currently an Indiegogo pre-sales on them.
Okay.
For a second batch. Whether they'll ever hit mass production, I don't know. So... But as an everyday
nice, Ben.
charging unit, I think that's going to be the duck's guts.
And able to be taken on a plane.
Yes.
I think that's a huge selling point.
And that was one of the things, again, one of the features was they were making sure that they were billing it as an everyday carry power supply.
Mm.
So it had to be plane friendly. Yeah.
For the notebook, for the FT817, for the IC705, for the whatever.
Well, how does the 705 rate in terms of power consumption?
No, well, it's about, it's about 2, 3, 4 amps, I think.
Yeah. So,
The battery.
No, when you're on 10 watts.
Yeah. I was going to say,
With an external battery.
it might struggle
It's
doing...
about 4 amps, I think.
Yeah, it might struggle doing 10 watts through that, because the max limit's 3 amps.
Okay.
But you could probably certainly do 5.
And to get the 10 watts out of it, you need to be over about 11.8 volts.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's a spot.
Or if you wanted to get really fiddly, I guess you could make some sort of DC to DC converter for USB.
But even so, because you've got the battery in the back of the 705, you can plug that into trickle charge.
Charge it, for sure.
Correct.
And run it at 5 watts.
Yeah,
when you're
absolutely.
receiving.
So,
Truly.
So I've been very much looking forward to that arriving.
Very nice, Ben. Very nice indeed.
Yeah.
So Storm to Liquid.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Oh.
Here we go. Storm to Liquid.
Yep. So certainly Google and DuckDuckGo, you'll find it if you put that in.
Sexy little bag too.
Yep. And so that is my show and tell for the night.
That is fantastic, Ben.
Yep.
And I look forward to hearing how you're using it and hearing you on air out in parkland, mountain land, wherever.
That's the thing I haven't thought through enough, was the fact now I have it, I'm actually going to have to get out and do something. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ben. Can you grab Richard,
Yep.
please, and ask him to bring his certificate in? Very impressive certificate. How are you, Hayden?
Good.
Excellent. What's news? In ham radio DX land.
I don't know. I don't know if I can say it. It's all right.
Okay.
There's some special things coming up.
News coming.
There's 2 or 3 things coming actually.
Oh,
actually, the RSGB. You could talk about the RSGB.
okay. Yes.
I'll do it after Richard. It's all right.
Okay.
He's here now.
Do it after.
Come in, Richard.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations. What Richard's about to show us.
Congratulations.
Good evening, Richard.
Congratulations on making it up again.
Welcome, Richard.
Welcome.
And how's your week thus far been?
Busy but good.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Richard's got a very, very impressive certificate.
Ta-da.
Now, we better put this on.
Camera 6.
we better put this on the close-up camera.
Well, on the close-up camera. Yeah.
And actually, that's a bit too close. Now, tell us what we're looking at here, Richard.
Well,
This is very impressive. Especially this bit here.
yeah, first place. Look, it's not all sort of my doing. Murray was sort of a big driving force as well, because we, I can't remember if this is when we had the van or not.
Yes,
Yes, it was.
it was. Yeah.
So
this is the freezing your
Pajubis
off experience.
that's right. All these summer things. That we just,
Because you both operated independently.
that's right. That's right. We
So,
did.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I've never really had much of a crack at the John Moyle before,
Okay.
and we thought, well, let's have a bit of a go and see what we can do. And look,
You just have a bit of a go, you know.
oh, look, I think too, and I meant to say something on the wrap up of the RD contest that I forgot.
Yep.
Was that part of the reason that we're able to maybe win this and do well is because I think we've just managed to shame everybody into actually coming on, and there was a really quite a lot of local participation, which was excellent.
There was a huge amount of participation.
So, you know, and there was lots of, well, I'm not sure if you went through the thing, but there were people that put in logs with 1 point. VK7s that put in logs with 1 point. Like, went to the trouble of,
I love it.
so like,
The message got through.
that's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Absolutely love it.
And
And congratulations for the RD to two of the recipients in the studio.
So, yeah, there was some pretty close. In fact, the three people sitting in this studio were all very close.
And if we'd have not
not made many mistakes.
There's many mistakes.
Yeah. Well, we missed out on the beating our last year's record for
By
the
three or 4
Five-
points.
5 points.
5 points.
which was mostly my problem because I lost 12 points. So, sorry.
I think I lost 3 or 4.
I lost at least that. I just and stupid mistakes. Just
But Alan's score was just insane. Like 1200. That's going to be hard to beat. 1200 and something like
We
that.
have a plan.
a cunning plan.
But look, there's a little bit of documentation that came with the certificates, which is really, look, it's
Yep.
even though it's nice to get the certificates sort of, you just sort of print off and stuff. It's sort of nice to get it in the mail.
Correct.
So we were obviously in the 6-hour portable.
Yep.
VHF. So VK3MH.
Cool.
Brendan. And
Anthony, LOG,
LOG did really well. So.
Yep.
And
KPC,
yeah.
who was giving us the talk.
So there was quite a few interesting bits. There was
And in
quite a lot-
fact, he was using.
that's right, a bit of the army kit.
He was using
That's
his army
right.
kit for
Right.
it. So
One of the things they talked about was the number of points per band, and that's like this is this year's, and that's sort of
24
last year. So some people use 24 gigs.
Well and truly, and 10 gigs by a mile.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know,
Five.
5.7, 3.4, and there was like none the previous year.
And look at 23 centimetres.
Yeah.
There's 1971 points.
Whereas last year there was only 905.
Yeah.
So,
So
and I think the figures are very similar for the RD contest. Like 1296 down here was
was
pretty familiar.
going off.
so.
It was,
No, it's good. So I was pretty happy with that. But made it worth being up
Very
there in
impressive.
the cold. So, but Murray's got the second one as well. So he was pretty chuffed. I spoke to him today at work. So
excellent. So congratulations to Murray as well.
yeah,
I just
gotta be happy with that.
you got to be happy with that, and got to be happy with VK7 right at the moment and involvement in contests. I think the rest of Australia is getting a bit sick of it.
Look,
but anyway.
I heard some fantastic scores on that Oceania DX.
Well, that's the next
Holy moly.
a bit of a wrap up of the Oceania DX, and what I was going to do was I've got
ZBX is very much aware that his station is very suboptimal.
Oh no, that's all right. That's
Who
okay.
was that guy that was? We were giving out 10s and 12s and 13s, and some guy came back and gave us 400. Okay.
So I just thought I would bring up this is VK5PAS Paul. who I did contact in the Oceania DX. I did, I think, 60
Was he with
contacts.
A-Rig? Was he on the
No,
A-Rig?
no, he was running his own,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and he was running from his very quiet location. I'm sick of him telling me that he's got a quiet location.
676
But-
kilosales.
I don't know how he got that many contacts because I had a chat with him for like a minute or a minute and a half. He was calling CQ for a while, and I think he just appreciated the break.
Well, 676 QSOs from
60 different.
63 different DXCC entities, and I've just zoomed down here to the map. This is a huge amount in Europe, and the next map shows you the spread in Europe. A bit in the US, a few in South America, Japan's huge, Indonesia, Antarctica. So that would, I assume it's Paul.
Yeah, it would have been Paul.
But if we scroll down, this is the contacts into Europe. So all over Europe.
Yeah, wow.
The Scandinavian countries, the UK, into Russia, and everywhere in between.
That's an unfair geographical location.
We need to ask Paul how he generates these maps because it's quite interesting.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
Well and truly.
Yeah.
Well and truly. Here's Asia, so Oceania, basically. So lots out of Japan, Indonesia,
Not
Philippines,
as many from Indonesia as
Malaysia.
what I'm sure we heard on the band. Goodness gracious.
It was huge.
Oh, once it got to about 9, 10 o'clock, it was
on
just
7 megs, it was just
chockers.
Few across the US, so it's interesting that spread is all the way from east to west coast. So lots locally, and New Zealand, lots and lots and lots of ZLs just off the show. So I just thought I'd show you that because it's a great representation, especially that one of where those contacts came from and the 63 DXCC entities that he actually worked. It was just.
I think a lot of them are in here.
I know. That's exactly right. That next map is just off the show.
That's a lot of European countries, right? I wonder if there's any that are missing.
Mind you, I've got to say, Martin was dead right when he said that they like looking for VK7s because heaps of times there was a few contacts I made on 20 metres early on that you'd put your call sign in there and go, everybody except the VK7 go ahead. It's like, sweet. I'll take that.
Oh no, good stuff. Good stuff. And the thing about the scoring and the multipliers is you have a look at the number of contacts you made, and then you look at the score and you go, wow.
Yeah, when VKCL comes up and says, "Oh, new multiplier," you go, sweet.
Let's keep going. As many of them as you can. So no, it's good stuff.
Fun. It was good fun.
It was, and I hope, please, if you operated, put your log in. Please put your log in.
You don't email it. I went to the site and it says to email it, so I emailed it and I got an email saying, we don't accept emails this year.
No.
Go to this site. But
So you can't upload through VKCL?
yes, you can.
No,
Yes, because that's what I did.
okay.
That's what I did. Create the file and upload, and it takes you to the site. You may have to then go and find the file,
and,
but it then shows you when it uploads what the file is. So that's the first confirmation, and the second confirmation is you get an email with
a serial number
and what you uploaded.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice because it just gives you that confirmation.
Confirmation,
How long we got to submit? A couple of weeks?
Yeah, a couple of weeks, well and truly. But hey, if you've got the file and you're confident, upload it.
Like I really don't
Please.
Like there was some Tasmanians. I did some VK7s with some really good scores. I think Martin was doing really well. Catherine was doing really well. Like, I don't know how she does it. She's a machine.
Huge, absolutely huge signal as well. Just her station, and they don't have any noise. So anyway, I'm in awe.
A couple of up north as well. They were doing it. I heard HAM.
HAM had a bit of a crack. Yeah.
Well, truly.
I think
He's probably the strongest. DIK, I heard DIK
Dick,
there.
Dick was in there. He was good. He was his usual rock crushing self. So it's good. Anyway, Oh, cool. Now, just stick around because one of the things I did here, this is our 3.4 gig experimentation again. Many people will recognise these panel antennas from the Geelong Amateur Radio Society's 3.4 gig conversion process. And I'm not quite sure how many people have actually seen what's inside one of these, because these are panel antennas, and I'll show you why they're called panel antennas, other than it's a panel that you stick on a wall. This is what's actually inside, and it's a patch antenna, but it's a phased array of patch antennas. This is how they get a little bit of gain out of this. The distance between the copper on the top and the back plane, which is the ground, is reasonably critical. Which is a little bit. I commented earlier that
a bit of a concern there.
It's quite thin PCB fiberglass, and there's only the 1, 2, 3, 4 actual mounting spots, and then there is where the coax connects in the middle. That's sort of, it gives it a little bit of structural integrity because there's a little bush that it screws through. But yeah, and if you have a look across the panel, the bit of fiberglass is a bit all over the place. But anyway, so that's what's behind a patch antenna.
16 dB again or something?
Oh, that's not on that little thingo. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. And it doesn't say on here. No, it doesn't. Other than 1994, I suspect, is the manufacture date.
Wow.
So, oh my God, maybe not. 94 VA version 0.8. Maybe, I know, that might be a Julian date type thing there,
Okay.
I reckon. But anyway, just so you know what's actually behind these, and then it's just a plastic radome that goes on there with a weather seal on it, so that it doesn't let anything in. And I must admit, that's done really well because there's
no water ingress there.
Crap around the edge, but nothing inside, which is really, really good. And the key thing here is these are only single polarization antennas, so you can do the experimentation by doing this, which I did on the when we were doing the tests, and I have to say it made absolutely no difference. So
all sorts of refractions and reflections.
So I suspect once it hits the mountain, the polarization is going to be all over the place. So anyway, so that's the patch antenna. We this weekend I'm hoping we can test the grid antennas, the barbecue grill antennas. Steve VK700 has lent me the big one, and I've also got the little one,
which is the same ones as the ones we've ordered. Ah, sweet.
My big one arrived yesterday.
Did it? Oh, from VK3TAA?
Yeah, it was one of the ones he had in stock.
Ah, okay. No, because he had a couple in stock.
You were saying bad things about Australia Post. It turned up.
Yeah, and the card had the date 3 days previous, so they've been sitting
Guy
there for a
probably
while.
couldn't get it in his van. Like, damn, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So we'll do a bit of a test on the weekend.
Yep, for sure.
I was actually thinking about potentially giving Alan one of them.
One of these type panels.
No, well, either giving him one of these or actually giving him like the large or the small one of the other ones. Yeah. Once I've done an A-B next to each other, and then at least we've got. I think we're going to have an absolutely rock-crossing signal.
I'll still use that panel, one that's about 600 square, which is supposedly 25 dB.
Okay.
But
Okay.
It's probably
And that's
600 square.
similar to this, like similar arrangement to this.
I haven't pulled it apart, but it's vertical and horizontal.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's got 2 end connectors on it.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Cool.
But
Cool.
still shoot for horizontal. But I think you're right. It should work well. And then I think Murray's hatching a plan to build or buy one of those RF hand design feeds for the 1.5 metre dish that he's got. It'll do, I think, 3.4 5.7 and 10 gig feed, like just a linear, like
Okay.
a dash. So,
Okay. Wow.
So I think he's sort of told me the idea of putting the feed in it and then just aiming it at the mountain, which would be,
Fantastic.
I don't know what sort of game 1.5 metres it has, but
At 10, a lot.
even at 3.
Well and
It's
truly.
still a lot.
Well and truly.
So,
Here,
Because
here.
our dishes.
yeah, 27, aren't they? And they're about a metre by 500 or 600.
Yeah, they're not. It's 1.2. The round one.
Oh, those, yeah, the white and grey one that you and I've
The
got.
Andrew's
yeah.
one, 1.2, so that's smaller
Yeah.
even.
They're
Cool.
good size.
And that had a bit of game when we were testing it.
It did. It was a little bit sharp though, wasn't it?
Very sharp.
Right.
And a bit impractical for what we wanted.
Yeah, you just need better mounts.
Okay.
No, good.
Now, just very quickly, we had a presentation by Andrew Elwell back 4 or 5 months ago, I reckon. And now Andrew was from the Pawsey Supercomputing Centre, and I noticed on ZDNet a couple of weeks ago, I think this is a couple of weeks, September 21, that Pawsey unwraps first stage of their new supercomputers. The HPE Cray X supercomputer will be used for researchers. There's what he was talking about in the presentation. He was talking about the new machines, and they're now commissioned and starting to be used. So all of $48 million worth of them.
Nice.
Very nice in its indigenous packaging, covers, and deliver up to 30 times more compute power of 50 petaflops, and eventually deliver at least 200 gigabits per second of bandwidth to every compute node, and 800 gigabits per second to the GPU into the GPU nodes.
I reckon those guys will be mining some Bitcoin.
just phenomenal amounts of power. It features more than 200,000 AMD CPU computer cores across 1,600 nodes, over 750 AMD GPUs, and more than 548 terabytes of CPU and of CPU. No, that doesn't make sense.
CPU and GPU.
RAM.
RAM.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
CPU and GPU RAM. Yes, okay. While occupying 8 cabinets. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd...
to pay the hydro bill.
Well and truly. Just thought I'd point that out because Andrew did refer to these. They were, I think, about to be delivered from memory. And so they have been delivered, they've been installed, and they're up and running. So there you go. So
That's super cool.
just scary amounts of power. Now, another thing, talking about things arriving in the mail. Toys. I'm a member of TAPR, which is the Tucson Amateur Radio Amateur Packet Radio Association, I think, something like that. So they produced actually quite a while ago. These are pretty old, but I've finally got around to actually ordering one. What you're looking at here, let me turn it around. What you're looking at here is the Raspberry Pi Whisper Beacon. So there is not much on this. That's the 40-pin GIO port on Raspberry Pi. There is a few driver transistors and bits and pieces on there that's from I/O pins, and a bit of filtering, and also the low-pass filter, which are these inductors here. This is the 30-meter version, and what makes it a 30-meter version is obviously the low-pass filter is for 30 meters. Little LED on the end here, also a halt reset button, and a BNC connector on the end here. So, and everything's generated within the Raspberry Pi, the Whisper signal, and it puts that signal out at very low levels. We're talking milliwatts. But you can basically have it there, sitting there, and it's just transmitting your call sign into an antenna forever. basically. So I bought the 30-metre one because I monitor 30 metres and 630 metres whisper most of the time, and I thought, well, let me just maybe put something together and I can transmit as well.
Nice.
Honestly, 30 metres whisper is, there are certain times of the, there we go. Now let me just go to, is that, yes. Okay, this is, there you go, it's $32 US. And there it is on a, sitting on the GIO port of the Raspberry Pi. So, and they produce a whole bucket load of these different frequencies, 20, 30, 40 meters, 15, 17, 10, 12 partial kit. So they supply it in kit form. So you put the low pass filter in for whatever you want. Yeah, it's very nice little little kit from TAPR. And if you haven't been to the TAPR site, TAPR produce a bucket load of kits, all sorts of things. They were the first ones to produce the HP SDR, which is how I got my
TNC2. I think was one of the original
TNC2, and in fact the conversion kit for an MFJ 1570 packet modem to take it to 9600
with a G3 AUH modem.
So
it's a bit of a blast from the past.
Oh, it's and that's literally how long they've been around too. They have been around for a long time. They also sponsor they're the key sponsor and the organisers for the DCC conference. Could be a concert, I suppose. Dear oh dear. So the DCC is the digital, I suppose the preeminent digital conference in America. It's got ARRL involved and all sorts of stuff, but TAPR are the ones who actually organise who's talking and all of that sort of stuff. So
big organisation.
And the DCC concert. I keep saying that. I suppose they're playing instruments, aren't they? You know, radios are instruments. But that's the place to go for what's the latest in the digital amateur radio world. So really worth a look. And they do after the concert, they do post to YouTube all of the presentations and all of that sort of stuff. So I feature them on here quite often because they are great talks, really great talks. So yeah. Now, bit of a reminder, we've got a bit of a short one today. Bit of a reminder that our November presentation night, which is back to our Wednesday nights, first Wednesday night in November, which is the 3rd of November, is all about digital hotspots and configuring digital hotspots. And a little bit of a focus on Pi-Star and OpenSpot 3 hotspots. However, what's being presented is very applicable to all sorts of hotspots if you have to configure a hotspot.
I'm sure Scott will lead us anyone in the right direction that doesn't have a hotspot or a...
Correct. And presentation by Scott VK7HSE, who hates me saying he's a guru on digital voice, but he's a guru on digital voice. So
has been known to be.
Has been known to help out and be very knowledgeable about these things. So that's in November. Now on the weekend, Sunday in fact, we had a very successful, in fact standing room only presentation on military radios, which I am actually playing those videos tonight as part of the RF output. So we'll have a bit of a look at those. But the very first video that I'm playing is a bit of a reprise. Now the reprise is a Vertasium presentation. Now for those who don't know, Derek Hall, I think it is, his name's Derek, he's an Australian who produces a phenomenally popular science-based presentation on all sorts of things, anything and everything. And he even puts his money where his mouth is about scientific devices and going faster than the speed of wind and all sorts of stuff. But the one he did here it's titled The Surprising Secrets of Synchronization. Now this is about resonance. And it's a bit of a hint as to what we're going to do next week. I've got a little series together on resonance, and resonance not only from the RF perspective. We obviously use resonance all the time because it's a really special condition in radio that we use to our advantage. But one of the things that we're going to be investigating is resonance of bodies. So particular types of material. No.
Are they resonant?
Well, we'll leave that there.
6 metre
But there are a whole lot of areas where resonance is actually it's something that's visible, and something that is audible, or something that is actually used within technology, and it's all based on this special condition called resonance. So that's what we're featuring over the next few nights. So just to give you a bit of an intro, we'll have the Veritasium video. So yeah. So anyway, that's our. Now, let me have a look.
Nice shirt, by the way. Nice merch.
Oh, nice merch, nice merch. I'm double merched tonight.
So,
yes. Feeling a bit hot. Anyway, we'll get. Thank you for viewing. I hope you got something from tonight, and we'll by all means have a look at the military radio presentation that's on our YouTube channel. Well worth it. The two guys that do the presentation are just a phenomenal amount of information and phenomenal knowledge about military radio. So anyway. So thank you, Richard.
thank you very much.
And thank you, Hayden.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week, then 73, from the Radio and Electronics Association of Southern Tasmania and our DATV Experimenters Night. Cheers.
73.